Hello and welcome to a Shell Shockers weapons tier list. This tier list was made by this dude right here. Go check him out. This is pretty cool because of how small a community and small of a game it is. I was really happy to find a list maker on a tier maker. Anyways, first order of business, there are 6 tiers. S being the best, F being worst, S being best, F being worst. Don't know if that's what I said or not. And there are 8 guns now since the try-hard was added a few months back. Oh, I've got a lot to say about that, but I don't think we're gonna need 6 tiers for only 8 weapons. So let's remove F and replace D with, with worthless? No. Let me think. Maybe, Please fix, no, please buff? I don't know. I already know what weapons I'm going to be putting in this tier, but I don't know, just why? Yeah, why? That works. Alright, so let's just move from left to right here. It's going to be a pretty quick video, hopefully. 8 things to go over. First off, we have this secondary. It's literally just called the secondary. It's a pistol. You can't equip it or unequip it. It'll always be there with you. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Okay. Press E to get to it, and it does like 3-4 damage. From like medium range, and then like 1 to 0 at long range. I guess it's alright for finishing things off, but wouldn't you just... Okay, so the only scenario where I could see you using the pistol, taking the time to swap to it and fire it, is with the crack shot. But wouldn't you just reload the crack shot? That's what, the reasonable thing or throw a grenade, or just get out of that, because he's going to kill you in the first place. And let's see if you're running the pistol with the Scrambler. Why? Why would you swap to the pistol and not reload the Scrambler? Why would you swap to the pistol and not reload the P90 or the Whipper? Why would you? I guess it's viable with the with the rocket launcher, but this is just a close range weapon itself, and so is this. So same said for these two. Yeah, just don't swap to this thing unless you're using the rocket launcher, in which case you shouldn't be using the rocket launcher. So why? Why would you ever need to use this gun? All it does is basically stop your opponent from regenerating by... I don't know. It's... Why? Just reload. If you're in that much of a desperate scenario, they're going to out-heal the damage that you can do with this thing, unless if they're like at 5 or 6 HP, so... Just why? I'm not saying buff it. I mean, I wouldn't mind it having like a slight accuracy buff. I would like to see reduced clip size to like 7 or 8, and then increase its damage by like 3 or 2, and then increase its accuracy a bit, because this and accuracy in this game is just kind of screwy, but that's the pistol. The EGG K47. Let's put it in B for now. It's pretty middle of the road. You can't really go wrong with it. It's really, really good in close quarters. It absolutely shreds opponents. Its damage output is good. Its fire rate is good. The problem with this thing is its accuracy. It's supposed to be a medium, close, and long range weapon, being able to hit targets from long range but not deal too much damage. But the problem is the way bullet spread works in the game. It just doesn't. It just doesn't do what it needs to do. It goes left and it goes right and it goes up here and then down here, and it's like, why am I dealing any damage? And you deal damage and then they just heal it off immediately, and then you just get sniped by the crack shot. So why? Oh, no, it's the most ideal scenario for the Egg K would be in close quarters and just spraying people down. Probably not ADS, but isn't that the role that the Whipper serves? So I do get killed by this thing pretty frequently, but if I'm playing like a free-for-all on Space Arena, Two Towers, Blue, just anything that's like just a square map with a high field and a low field, I hardly see this thing, to be honest. But I don't know. But if you do see it, you're gonna die to it a lot because they won't run anything else. But yeah, it's not C material. C is like bad. Like, don't really use this. Y tier is like don't. Why is this in the game? A is viable. S is like probably needs a nerf. Moving on to this weapon has two names actually. It's called like the CS81, I believe, in the inventory, and then it's called the Free Ranger, and that's the class name of it in the options screen where you pick or like the menu screen. So this thing, if you get a critical hit, which is like the kind of like lower mid chest area of the egg, kind of randomized. I don't know entirely how damage works, but I feel like it's a bit randomized. You can one-shot with the Free Ranger, which is ridiculous. They might have nerfed that. I don't know. I haven't played this game, or I haven't played it like on a daily basis since like 2018, 2019. I just hopped on last week and saw this little bundle of joy was added. So yeah, I don't know. It has 15. Yeah, it's got 15 shots in it. You can just spray this thing and never die. You can just camp and just two-shot people, just bam, 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 and then you need to run. Oh, you don't even have to reload. You just turn around and shoot, and then you don't even have to reload until after 15 shots, which is enough to kill like 7 to 6 to 5 people if you don't miss. By then you're hard-boiled anyways, so you wouldn't even, like, I don't know what to say. It is my favorite weapon in the game because of how viable it is in close quarters and long range, and it actually lacks the most viability in medium range because of, it's hard to hit ADS shots in medium to close, but it's just so good in close quarters with if you don't go ADS and you just hip fire with it. It's so accurate and it does so much damage. It does like 80 to, it does, let's see, like I'd say 65 to 85 damage. And it fires like bang, bang. It's just so good. It's just so consistent. You can't go wrong with it, really. I hate seeing people put it in like B and A territory. Never C or D or whatever, but it's just my favorite weapon. Moving on to its bigger brother, the glorious Crackshot. This is probably the most used weapon in like slightly longer maps, like bigger, more open maps. I was gonna say the most used weapon, but I don't know. I feel like the Scrambler would take that place, but yeah, this thing, it's a one shot. You aim down sights and you shoot and it kills people. Oh, so it's A tier. No, the problem, or it's S tier. So the problem with it is that it only one shots if you hit them in the center of their body in a specific area. I don't know exactly where that is, but it doesn't always one shot. And every time you fire a shot, you have to exit your ADS, reload, enter ADS again, move around, avoid enemy projectiles, just move around. And the worst thing about this is the tunnel vision that it gives you. You sit in a corner on the high point of like 2 towers, and you just wait for people to spawn. Oh yeah, I got that kill, and then somebody comes up the ladder behind you with the Scrambler, and you're dead. And it's like, what? Man, I had hard boiled. Well, you were tunnel visioned. So I've seen 2 tier lists of this, and they both put it in S above everything else. I personally, it's really good. It's almost as good as the free ranger, the crack shot. The problem with it is that it's inconsistent. Well, this is consistent. This doesn't always one shot, and if it doesn't, you're screwed. You might as well just run away. Or whip out your handy dandy pistol and deal 1 damage to your opponent from across the map if you even hit it. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm leaning towards like S- or A+. The only problem that I have with it is that it's inconsistent. Tunnel vision can be avoided through good maneuvering, and I'm not going to get into that, but moving on, we have the RPEG, the RPEGG, whatever you want to call it. It's a load of shit. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. Why does this? I see this used maybe once every 30 minutes. I see somebody swap to it for a couple lives, and just it's like a rage weapon. You're like you cycle through all the weapons. Man, I keep dying. None of this is working. And then you come to the RPEG, and you're like, well, I guess this is it. And it's basically you can fire it in close range, but the rockets don't deal any damage. They are deleted upon impact. I don't know what the point of that is exactly, because you still have to reload it, and the reload is horribly long, and it's just, you sit there, and it takes 3 years, and then you turn around, and oh, somebody's in your face, you don't have anything to defend yourself with except for the pistol. That being said, it does consistently one-shot. If you hit somebody with this, you're going to kill them. The blast radius on this is very, very inconsistent. It's like even less consistent than the grenades, which, I mean, if grenades were on here, they'd be like A or B tier as a general weapon, but it's a consistent one shot. Travel time is terrible. You never expect it, really. You never really see this that much. It's not good. It's not a good weapon to use. If you could use this as your secondary, then maybe I could see that. But you're never going to use it and get like I just got 3 kills at once, because that's not really how the game works. It doesn't really belong in the game that well. Most of the time, you're going to be finding yourself in 1-on-2 or 1-on-1 most of the time battles, and this thing against one guy is miserable, because they can just walk to the left of the missile or walk to the right of it and then shoot you while you're reloading it. And if they get close to you, there's nothing you can do. If they're in, like, let's say you were here and they're here, it's just anywhere around you. you have nothing to do but pull out your pistol, because the crosshair turns red and you can't fire it. Like, why? Why is that a thing? Just, if I could see one change with this thing made, it would be rocket jumping. That would be awesome for this game. An extra mobility option, so you have to use a crappier weapon, but you get to rocket jump. That would be perfect. I don't know, it's just my opinion. Moving on to the Scrambler. This is probably the most inconsistent weapon in the game. I'm not even gonna, I don't want to drag it around right now. Its spread is probably wider than the tier that you're looking at right now. It's like, I'm doing something with my hands, but you can't even see it. It's like the width of my monitor. It's wide. It's horizontal. It just sucks. Like, the spread on this thing is so terrible. It fires really fast, though. Like, you can fire like bang bang and deal 85. Most of the time you're going to be dealing about 40 to 60 damage with it, if most of your pellets hit, but there is that occasional time where you hit somebody from that perfect, like, closest. There's this weird range. Let's say this is far, this is kind of far, this is medium, this is kind of close, and this is close. At this, like, this line between medium and kind of close, its pellets just, like, seem to, like, home in. They just all line up perfectly with your target. And it can one-shot. It can one-shot your opponent if all the shells hit the egg in this, like, weird little line right around here. Close, far range, don't bother. Consistent for some reason, extra consistent for some reason, not that good, and at close range, also not that good, because if you're standing an inch from somebody or inside of them, the bullets get ignored and they don't damage them. I find that very annoying whenever you're like an inch from your target, or like literally touching your target, and you fire this thing twice and you have to reload, and then they walk away from you and snipe you with this piece of crap. Like, it's annoying the way the Scrambler works. I'm going to do that because of this little line where you can one-shot people consistently. It's fun. It's probably the most fun weapon in the game, to just be a guy that never stops moving and he's everywhere at once, and you turn it around, boom. The weakness of somebody using the Scrambler is getting close to them. I know that sounds stupid, but getting in this range with them, getting within this, like, certain threshold, whenever they're, like, have the barrel down your throat, they can't damage you because the bullets go through you because of how buggy this piece of crap game is. Yeah, it's the same story for the rocket launcher. That being said, one shot's a lot. Pretty buggy weapon. Really interesting. I don't know what to say about it. It's pretty complex. Next up, we have the glorious, fantastical, bombastical P90. Probably the most ideal close range weapon. I'm not talking about the weird threshold. I'm talking about, like, close or medium. I'm going to go ahead and drop it in A tier. It does the the Whipper does the AK-47's job better. It simply does it better. It's less accurate, but it fires faster, does just a little bit less damage, I think, and it has, like, 3 times the clip size. You can just, 3 times the clip size? I don't know. Does this have a clip size of 15? I feel like it does. This is 40, so I thought this one had 15. It might be 30. I'm going to check the wiki later, but, yeah, doing this in close range is just so good. You can just melt people in an instant. Same story for this, but this is quicker. It reloads really fast. You can snap around with it and just spray it and then take down another guy without even having to reload because it's got such a huge clip. Biggest downside is the same with the Scrambler. At long range, just don't even bother. Just if you see somebody with the crack shot or even this from long range, just hide behind a wall and wait for somebody to come or flank them. Just there's ways to avoid crack shotters and free rangers. There's ways to maneuver to where you don't get yourself killed with these two constantly. I would put it in B above the AK, but I feel like it's deserving of A. I see this used probably third most. Let's see, I see this used the most. No, this used the most on most maps. Because of all the stupid corridors. This used the second most, third most, fourth, fifth, sixth, not counting pistol. I don't think I've ever seen this really get used. I couldn't really remember a time whenever I've seen this outside of like me and my friends joking around with it. And I've never seen this get used either, and I'll explain why after I finish talking about the Whipper. Consistent. It's very consistent. You're always going to get the same result with this thing. You're going to get your target very low, and you're going to come up behind them. It's much like the Scrambler, except it really just comes down to personal preference between the Scrambler and the PE, or what is it called? The Whipper. If you like more of a submachine gun type of close range weapon, then use this. It's perfectly. It just can't one shot. Is why it's because it's broken. Anyways, the AUG or the Try Hard. I don't really get the name. Because it fires in 3-round bursts. Haha. Please remove this from the game or fix it. It doesn't belong in Shell Shocked. It doesn't belong in Shell Shockers. It makes me depressed after all these years, or a year and a half. Has it really only been a year and a half? This game's only been out since what, 2016? I played it since 2017. And since I've played it, well, whenever I first played it, I remember there being this. There was this, I think. There was an assault rifle, a pistol, a rocket launcher, and a shotgun. I don't think this was there yet. Or the P90. I don't know, I could be wrong. But, yeah. Haven't had a new weapon in a long, long time, since like 2018, 2019, and then new weapon comes out this year. Oh wait, it's worse than the pistol. I've spent 30 minutes on this thing and have gotten like 2, maybe 3 kills with it. It's inaccurate. Its reload time is bad. Its damage is like less than the pistols somehow. You feel like you're just shooting peas at people, really. You can empty an entire mag into somebody who's standing still, and they'll barely have any cracks on them. Like, it's just sad, really. This weapon, it's just sad. Please fix this. I would like to see a damage buff, and I don't know, a ADS time buff or something to make it unique. Give it more hip fire accuracy. And more, let me think, more ADS accuracy and more damage, and I'll put it just a little more damage, A tier. Give it too much damage, and it goes in S tier. But yeah, no reason to ever use this thing. That will be the complete list. You can see how the game kind of lays out. There's a lot of good stuff and a lot of bad stuff. this one kind of lands between Y tier and C tier. This one kind of goes between A and B, and this one can kind of, almost, depending on how good you are, go between these two, and this one, depending on the player, can really go in S or C, or honestly Y. I've seen it. I've seen people talk this thing down. But yeah, that will be the end of that, and I hope you enjoyed, and don't forget to check this dude out, and yeah, visit this website. It's awesome. See y'all in the next one.